their children. They also need encouragement to read. So set aside some time to read together and help your child achieve and succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win two, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in to the happy hour. Happy Wednesday here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I am Rico, joined by my trusty cohort, Nick Sainert. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing well, Rico.
Just
How's
switching
life?
things up a little bit.
How's life, man?
Life is great. Life is busy today, especially as the University of Nebraska decided to announce everything all at once, all at one time. Within like an hour of each other, they made two massive hires as the University of Nebraska names their new president and their new athletic director, and then their new president.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting the way it happened. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. So a couple things here. As we go forward, plenty of announcements, as we mentioned, right? Huskers name a new athletic director in Troy Dannon. You have a leading candidate, a primary candidate for Nebraska's new president, university system president. And I would ask you this right off the bat, 464-5685. Does it feel rushed? Because I think my initial thought to this morning, Rico, when you tapped on the glass between that separates the studio and the production studio, tapped on the glass during the drive with all of us and said, "Hey, look at this." And it was a tweet from Pete Thamel saying Troy Dannon's accepted a job with Nebraska as the new athletic director. My instant thought was, how does something as important as the athletic director role take less than a week? While at that moment, the search for a president takes a lot longer. I understand there's a lot more like cooks in the presidential kitchen, I guess, if you will.
Isn't it the same cooks that are making the athletic director hire if there's no president?
You're looking at president is over. You have to remember over
the
all
university
of the
system.
Yeah, the system. Yeah. So you're looking at Kearney, you're looking at Omaha, you're looking at UNL, also UNMC. And so I think there's more. I think things you have to look at, but we're talking 7+ months, which I understand. Like there's been the comments that are thrown out there of like timeline, and this isn't unusual, but I think it was unusual in the fact that you hadn't heard nothing from anybody for 7 months, and you kind of were just left in the dark. Now, I also think maybe the perception or the idea of why Trev Alberts left has changed, has kind of been altered over the last week, whether that's for good or for bad. Mm-hmm. So be it. You can have your own opinion of that. But it felt like, all right, Nebraska made a pretty swift decision, and it came from a name that was kind of out of left field. Nobody really thought about Troy Dannon from Washington. Part of it was because he just accepted the Washington job 5.5 months ago, October. The other part of it was a guy had just made a head coaching hire. He had just a couple of weeks ago announced that they're going to part ways with the head basketball coach. Still haven't hired a head basketball coach. This kind of came out of not left field necessarily, but it's a name that I think was on nobody's radar.
It was a week ago that he fired the head coach.
It was a couple weeks ago. It was before the conference tournament.
So Nebraska made an athletic director decision before Washington made a head coaching decision.
Yeah, and I think
which I understand.
There's a little concerning.
That feels. You were saying the word. It feels rushed. It feels like things move really quickly after Trev makes his. After the rumors start circulating about Trev, and then he makes his decision. He makes his move. And then a day after his introductory press conference, Nebraska names a new athletic director, poaching one, which is something we said Nebraska should do, is poach one from another power conference team. And they do that with Washington, and in conference now, as soon as the next school year starts, in conference opponent in Washington. But you're right, it just came out of left field. And I, admittedly, I wouldn't tell you, this would be my favorite athletic director hire. I want you to go after this person. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have an athletic director in mind for the job. But this one, especially the fact that he had just moved up from Tulane to Washington in October of this last year, again, it's a little strange, and it feels like Nebraska just kind of went full throttle into finding an athletic director as soon as Trev made his announcement.
And that doesn't have to be we're maybe portraying this as a negative. I mean, it can be a positive, right? Especially, as we expect, Matt Rule heavily involved in this, as Matt and Troy Dannon know each other from back when Dannon was in the American Conference and Matt Rule was at Temple. Just some salary details with Troy Dannon.
Before you get to the salary details, I understand that he was also at an American school, but how much do they really know? How much did they have conversations with each other to know? Did they know about each other and have a couple conversations here and there? Because when you say, I know it's not you, but when you say, they know each other, that makes me think that they're maybe not friends, colleagues, acquaintances or something, but how much do they actually conversate with each other being at different schools, just in the same conference along the same, years?
So here's this. Here's what Rule actually, because it is Nebraska's pro day. This is kind of something that's gone on the radar. Nebraska is currently holding their pro day.
It's over.
Or was today. Matt Rule spoke for a brief amount of time on Troy Dannon as the Huskers athletic director. He said this, quote, "I think Troy fits all the criteria that we're looking for. He's an accomplished athletic director. He's been on all the big committees. He knows the issues facing college football. He's an unbelievable guy." Rule, while at Temple, had a good professional relationship with Dannon while he was at Tulane. He said, quote, "It's no slight to the University of Washington, which is a wonderful place, my sister's alma mater, but I just know that he wanted to come home and he wanted to be here." That is what Matt Rule said of Troy Dannon, who, by the way, now is going to be getting a nice little bump in pay, understandably so. Don't forget that Trev, in comparison, was getting paid around $1.7 million, which puts him top 10 in the country in terms of athletic directors. And so Troy Dannon now will make a $1.6 million base salary. That runs from this Friday, March 22nd, up until March 31st of 2025. Then on April 1st of 2025, each year for the next 6 years, a $100,000 raise. And so 1.6 turns into 1.7 and so on until April 1st, 2029 or March 31st, 2030 is when the contract is fulfilled. He will make $2.1 million when it's all said and done per year. Troy Dannon also receives a $1 million signing bonus as to sign on the dotted line to become Nebraska's athletic director. An interesting note of this contract with new athletic director Troy Dannon is that the buyout is a whopping $12.2 million and gradually goes down. Don't forget, Texas A&M has to pay Nebraska a little over 4.1 for Trev Albert's buyout, and that is a contract that was just signed back in November. And so here you have it where Troy Dannon's buyout in the first year of his deal is triple the amount that Trev Alberts had, and his buyout, $12.2 million if another university wants to take away Troy Dannon from the University of Nebraska. So it feels like Nebraska has obviously officially found their new athletic director. It's a guy with a very football-centric background, so I think that's going to please some people. It makes sense, right, that yesterday they finalized the contract agreement with Fred Hoiberg. They announced that they're working on an extension with Husker women's basketball head coach Amy Williams as well. Matt Rule obviously locked in for the long term, and the way that his contract is set up is that he gets more, and his reward, his salary increases over time. I think it's all, for whatever reason, designed that way, so that way Troy Dannon comes in and with this football background, while the world of collegiate athletics and specifically football gets ready to ramp up with spring practice and the springtime, is that he doesn't have to worry about re-signing Fred Hoiberg, and he doesn't have to worry about adjusting the contract of Amy Williams. That's all done. He doesn't have to worry about it. He can come on in, get his boots on the ground, get running with what he needs to do, and now get to know the new president of the system as well.
Exactly, and that's my thing with these. And before I go on into that, and my thing about ADs and hiring, I wanted to look at his contract with Washington. He had just back in October signed a 5-year contract with Washington. And with that, they are going to be charging him with repaying $275,000 relocation bonus in addition to the $1.5 million buyout.
That's nothing,
considering he just got a $1 million bonus. That's
and Nebraska will pay it anyway.
Signing bonus or whatever, but Nebraska will pay that. But no, I completely agree with you on that. Where it looks like, reviewing what he's done and where he's been, it looks like his specialty as an athletic director is on the football side of things. And to me, when athletic directors get hired, everybody just focuses on who they hired at their previous stops and how those hires went. And for this one, at least, again, to me, I don't feel worried about that aspect of things, because on the football side, on the basketball side, especially with Fred just signing this new extension, you shouldn't hopefully have to worry about Dannon making any hires, because if Rule continues on the path that everybody sees going forward, and if they continue to improve, but again, his specialty is on the football side of things, you won't have to make another hire on the football side of things. His contract, hopefully he'll go to the end of that. And, we take people at their word at wanting to stay places, but, we've heard from a lot of people and seen a lot of different quotes on that for people. And then Fred Hoiberg signs this extension. You don't have to worry about re-signing him or firing him and looking for a new head coach. Amy Williams' contract is currently being restructured, and she'll be able to stay. And the rest of the coaches in the university system right now, we said it when Trev was leaving, the athletics at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln right now are on the up and up. It seems like every athletic program is having themselves one hell of a year. It was strange with Trev leaving at this point with all of these athletics doing well, but now Dannon coming into this university with all of the athletics doing what they're doing has to be a welcome sight, because look, he gets there 6 months ago. He already had to make a new football coaching hire. He went and got Jed Fish. Now Jed Fish is without an athletic director. Where was I going with that? I was on a roll. Damn it.
Nonetheless, so obviously Troy Dannon is Nebraska's new athletic director. But so as we know going forward, Troy Dannon, football centric background, he's on a couple of committees as well. Has that prior relationship with Matt Rule. He just had arrived in Washington back in October of 2023, as we talked about. In other news, in the other big hire,
I kind of remember where I was going. He has now, with being at Washington, even though it's only for 6 months, has been in conversations with other Big Ten athletic directors and whatnot. So it's not like you're hiring somebody who doesn't know what he's stepping into in the Big Ten landscape of things. So he'll be able to step in, and he's shown the ability to fundraise at a very high level at Tulane, at Northern Iowa. So again, I'm not going to judge the athletic director hire quite yet. We'll have to see in a couple of months, if he's here in 6. No, I'm kidding. But we'll see where it goes from there. But I feel pretty good about this hire for now.
So the name that Nebraska, here we go, is looking, because the Board of Regents did have a meeting today, is that Dr. Jeff Gold has been emerged as the UNMC chancellor. Dr. Jeff Gold has emerged as the priority candidate to become the 9th system president. And what this means, so Jeff Gold, it's a big part of it is the AAU membership. And so Dr. Jeff Gold obviously leads the UNMC campus, but how about this? Nebraska, the Lincoln's flagship station, was previously kicked out of the AAU. And I've seen a couple people tweet this out. I saw Sean Callahan tweet this out. And it's a very good point. There are 18 Big Ten schools heading into 2024 and 2025. Out of all 18, Nebraska is the only school that's not in the AAU. So that plays a factor into this. So Dr. Jeff Gold and obviously Troy Dannon, I will be interested to see going forward how much say the president has in athletics. Don't forget, remember when Ted Carter was here, he was heavily involved in athletic conversations and working very closely with Trev Alberts. Dr. Jeff Gold, unclear on maybe the athletics background, very, very, world-renowned physician, doctor, and key role player in the UNMC field and in the medical field, I should say. It'll be interesting to see how much they work together, specifically when it comes to athletics. And part of that is fundraising, right? Troy Dannon, he hangs his hat on his ability to fundraise at a place like Tulane, where he had the largest donation ever for the University of Tulane. At his time at UNI, made some fundraising successes and things like that. But we know that's a big deal here at Nebraska, especially when it's a big university and Nebraska football, when not only Troy Dannon is football centric, but also you just hired a new coach relatively recently in less than 2 years ago. All right, Nebraska fans, before they donate money, they want to see success. And 5-7 is a great stepping stone. It's not where Nebraska needs to be. And I don't have to be the one to sit up here and tell you guys that. So you just hope that Nebraska starts to get on the winning ways. And that makes, I think, everybody's job here easier. It will be interesting to see going forward the type of priorities for some of the other sports, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, softball, right? Because those are important at Nebraska. Maybe in the Big Ten whole, it's not as important, right? Big Ten, we know it, especially before Tony Petitti did not prioritize baseball, for example, or even softball a whole lot. They didn't take a lot of pride in it, didn't have a lot of national recognition. The Big Ten Conference moves and brings in Tony Petitti, who has a Major League Baseball background working for the for MLB Network. So maybe that gives you a little bit more pull in the baseball, softball world. Nebraska is also one of those institutions in the Big Ten Conference specifically that does prioritize baseball. They care about those smaller sports, maybe those non-revenue generating sports, because frankly, Nebraska has had success at baseball. They've been to regionals, and now here they are this year, especially very successful. And softball is making strides with when you get in transfers like Jordy Ball, but then you also have returning players. So I think like at a place like Nebraska, where maybe you're not going to be able to compete for a national championship year in and year out in football. I think that's me just being realistic. And just because of the way that college athletics are, I think it's going to be hard to become a dynasty in college football specifically. It's important to value those other sports, right? And so like we said, kind of coming back full circle and putting a bow on this thing, that's why it was important for the University of Nebraska as a whole, whether that was interim athletic director Dennis LeBlanc or interim, president Chris Kaborik. I think it was important for them to announce publicly that, hey, Fred got paid, by the way. Fred Hoiberg is going to get a job.
Those contract details.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska here at 1:30 about that. But Fred Hoiberg gets paid and gets locked down for the foreseeable future through 2029. It was essentially a 2-year contract extension. He had already signed one a couple of years ago that took him through 2027. This one takes him through 2029 with a little bit better pay increase and pay value with it.
Seemed pretty strategic.
It did. And then also to announce that, hey, we're working on the same thing with Amy Williams. So, because now you have a guy that, let's be honest here, fired a basketball coach, had not made a whole lot of headway in hiring a new basketball coach, leaves his post, comes to Nebraska, and you don't necessarily want him worrying about, okay, let's go through a contract negotiations with somebody that I don't have a prior relationship with. So that's just kind of being honest here. How about this though? It's interesting. Last thing is, as more contract details are being released, is that I mentioned his base salary $1.6 million. The gradual increases of $100,000 every year through the final year of his contract, which is 2029 through 2030. And he's set to make $2.1 million that year as Troy Dannon in the year April 1st, 29 through March 30th, 2030. His retention bonuses are nice as well, as Rico kind of talked about. March of 2027, $200,000 retention bonus. In March of 2028, $250,000 retention bonus. In March of 2029, $300,000 retention bonus. And in March of 2030, a $350,000 retention bonus.
That kind of feels ridiculous that we're already talking about contracts in 2030.
Yeah, it is. Now, here's what's also interesting. Part of Troy Dannon's success, what he tries to hang his cap on, are APR successes, graduation rates. If you read the breakdown in Pete Thamel's article, it talks about how I want to say there was over 68% of, I should probably not get these numbers wrong. Basically just holding, or, kind of hanging his hat on graduation success rate at Tulane. and that he felt like he did a good job of that, while not only at Northern Iowa, but also Tulane. As I'm scrolling this article, trying to find it here. Okay, I can't find it on the whim, but nonetheless, APR rate. What I'm getting back to is that his APR bonuses, Nebraska, graduation rate, GPA, things like that play a factor into APR. 2-year APR between 970 and 984, $100,000 bonus. A 2-year APR of 985 plus is a 110% of target academic bonus, so a little bit more than 100. Now, how about this? You want to ask if it's football centric? Troy Dannon has a quote football performance bonus written into his contract.
Oh,
Big Ten championship title. Troy Dannon gets a $100,000 bonus.
that's
weird. If Nebraska makes a college football playoff title, he gets a $150,000 bonus.
Can I tell you how much I don't like those?
Very football centric hire.
I don't.
Really strange. Right?
I don't like that's the athletic director getting bonuses for what the football team does. Now, if you go like a whole sport, like, you know, if like all the sports, if you have over whatever percentage of appearances in, you know, conference championships or this many All-Americans or whatever, yeah, sure, I guess you give that to. But like, oh, if your football team wins the Big Ten championship that you know, weren't doing any coaching or any of the, like, you get this much money, where I think that it was 250,000, right?
Yeah.
I think that should be, you know, either go to the head coach, even though I'm sure he already has something built into his contract or something like that, or be spread amongst the assistant coaches.
Scott from Bancroft makes a funny joke. He says, Nick and Rico, what's your guys' retention bonus? I don't have one. This is stupid, crazy money that these people make. Scott in Minnesota makes a good point. Don't forget about volleyball, right? Somebody asks, is there a new buyout for our AD's contract? Will UNL have to pay Washington? There is. So Nebraska is going to have to pay. Well, first of all, don't forget, Nebraska is going to get a little over 4.1 from Texas A&M for Trev Albert's buyout.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll have to pay Washington a little over 1.1.
It was 1.5 and then 275 relocation bonus,
yeah.
275,000 relocation and 1.5 million buyout.
So there you go. I think just once again, something to keep in mind is with these football centric bonuses here. This is a very, very focus on football type of hire. And I think that's going to please somebody. I think it's also maybe going to not ruffle some feathers, but to force some people to maybe take a wait and see approach when it comes to some other sports.
Interesting
involved.
How quickly all of this happened. That's my only.
Very much so.
That's my take. It's just very interesting how, you know, your timeline for the president hire, 7 months. It was along the same timeline along the same amount of time it took them to hire Ted Carter as the president, but took you 7 months to hire a president, and then within a week of your athletic director moving away to a different university, you hire an athletic director and you hire a president.
There you go.
It's strange how quickly you decided to move.
This time last week. So don't forget the way it felt on Wednesday of last week. The news came out early in the morning that Texas A&M was targeting Trev. Then it kind of settled down, and it was like, okay, maybe there's a thought here that Trev is going to stick around and all is going to be okay in the world of Nebraska athletics. And that was at this time right now, because at like 1, 2, 3 p.m., those hours of last Wednesday, the storm had kind of settled for a moment. But then at 4:30, it ramped back up again, and the news was officially broke that Trev was going to A&M. So, I mean, think about just how wild things are now. And throughout the last week, you have Trev going, you have Nebraska playing in the Big Ten tournament, you have Nebraska men's and women's basketball getting a berth in the NCAA tournament. You have the Governor Pillen call to action throughout the whole situation. You have the Board of Regents meeting a couple of times. Now you name a priority candidate in Dr. Jeff Gold from UNMC. And now you have an athletic director as Nebraska poaches University of Washington's Troy Dannon away from Seattle. So there you go. It's just kind of insane to think about how much has happened over these last 6.5 days.
Do you think Lisa Bluter has any thoughts on Big Ten protocol in regards to stealing athletic directors?
No, I am on this boat of like, I'm tired of Lisa Bluter being in the news.
Hey, they played 3 days in a row, man.
I don't
It's
care.
ridiculous.
Let's get to break. Steve
Nebraska
Mark
played 4, but we're not going to talk about that.
Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska is actually en route to Memphis. He's driving. There's a lot of people flying, and I was texting back and forth with Steve this morning. He's driving. So he's going to be calling today. He's going to be on the phone from the road. So we'll see. Hopefully, connection's all good. Hopefully, he's not in some back road area. So we'll go ahead and talk to Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska as he's en route to Memphis. We're sending a couple people down to Memphis, and we'll be joined by them over the next couple of days. We're also sending Austin Orman to Corvallis for Husker women's basketball.
Yeah.
So the ticket is going to be there. And so if you guys are not, we'll be able to hang out with you guys. But also, Buffalo Wings and Rings tomorrow and Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are live on location. We have over 50 prizes to give away over the next couple of days. We have the ping pong ball tournament as well. Ping pong ball raffle, if you will. If you pick the right team, then you win some prizes with a ping pong ball. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get ready for the NCAA tournament to officially start tomorrow. By the way, if you have not joined our bracket challenge, you can go online to our Twitter to where at the top of our profile page, 93.7 The Ticket, there's a link to join on the ESPN tournament. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. Steve Mark, our good friend, joins us when we return.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Furious Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Furious Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and Air Park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win 2, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Reading may be the most valuable skill your child will ever learn. And research proves that when children read outside the classroom, they do much better in school. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's easy to picture yourself reading with a young child curled up in your lap, but don't forget about your older children. They also need encouragement to read. So set aside some time to read together and help your child achieve and succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch the NCAA tournament from the round of 64 all the way to the championship. Bring your friends and family in to enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early, grab your spot, and settle in for a day of NCAA tournament basketball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, so good stuff in the first segment over Troy Dannon and obviously Dr. Jeff Gold. Gold, the priority candidate for Nebraska's next president, or to become Nebraska's next president, I should say. While Troy Dannon, Nebraska's new athletic director, he comes from the University of Washington, was there for just a little over 5 months. Got there in October, hired Jed Fish after Kalen DeBoer departed for Bama, and then fired the head basketball coach for men's basketball in Washington, did not hire a new one before he departed and comes to Lincoln.
Deuces.
Before we're going to keep talking about this, but we're also going to preview Nebraska basketball as they get ready for Friday night's matchup against the Texas A&M Aggies. And to do so, we talk to our good friend, Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska, joining us from the road. Steve, where are we at?
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me on. We are, let's call it Northwest Missouri right now. Okay. I am on my way to Springfield, Missouri, where I'm spending the night, and then I'll get up early and head to FedEx Forum and catch the Huskers practice.
So is there a reason? Do you enjoy driving?
Well, it's kind of a long story. I planned to originally fly to Charlotte and then go to Memphis. That was the original plan, but after finding out the practice availability the day before, which I had not known about until I booked the plane tickets, I kind of had to adjust, and now I'm driving. So that's how that came to be.
All right, well,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it all works out. Well,
can you give me a Jaren Jackson Jr. jersey while you're down there?
Oh my gosh, I love Jaren Jackson. If I see one, I will keep you in mind.
Perfect.
Just keep you in mind.
You know what? I'll take it.
Yeah. Once again, Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska joining us as he's en route to Memphis. All right, so Steve, first off, before we talk Husker men's basketball, I don't know how much you've been able to kind of familiarize yourself with Troy Dannon, but he is Nebraska's new athletic director, and we were texting back and forth. I mean, hey, this is a really, football-centric type of hire feeling.
Yeah, I totally agree, Nick, and I did do a little bit of research on him, and just in the brief moments that I kind of looked over his resume and career, I think it's a really strong hire, especially for, under the circumstances with how quickly it needed to be made. I think this is actually kind of like a knockout home run hire. Troy is a Midwestern guy, an Iowa native. He went to Northern Iowa, has family around the area, and I think everybody's just kind of look at his brief time at the University of Washington, being the AD over there for the Huskies. He was hired in October, and so now he's already leaving, and that might raise some questions. But the way I look at it is, he's a Midwestern guy, and I think, Nebraska, this gig, this AD job was too good to pass up. I mean, when you think that highly of a place, and when it comes open, maybe you make a call and see what they think of you. And I think in Nebraska's case, I think they looked at his hires. He's a football guy. He's a football administrator with some really impressive things on his resume that I think really kind of caught Nebraska's eye. Like, he's on several committees, and including the oversight committee, which is a big one. I mean, these people, he's in the rooms of people that are with other important people who are responsible for the direction of college football, and that's going to be incredibly important right now, obviously, as we all know, with how much the landscape of this place is changing. It was very, very important to have somebody who had a voice and who was kind of like a doer, which is exactly what Matt Rule mentioned in his press conference on Monday. He wanted a doer. He wanted somebody to be ambitious and kind of keep Nebraska in mind when you're in these rooms with these important people. So, I'm really impressed with the football part of Troy's background, and looking at the past hires that he made, it makes me even like him even more, because I'm an absolutely huge Willie Fritz fan at Tulane, and Troy was the one who hired Willie at Tulane, and now Tulane is one of the top, winningest, most consistent winning group of 5 programs in the entire country. And, other than that, Jed Fish, I'm a huge Jed Fish fan as well. And so when Kalen DeBoer got poached by Alabama, I mean, getting Jed Fish from Arizona was an incredible get, in my opinion. So, I just think that there's a lot to like with this AD hire for Nebraska. I think fans should like it. And, again, I keep going back to that, the fact that he's on several committees on college athletics. I think that was a huge, huge selling point for Nebraska.
We're joined by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska. And one more question just over the athletic director hire in the news today, I guess, just in general. But does it feel like, it's so cliche to ask this, like, does it feel rushed? Like, and is that a bad thing, that maybe it feels like, okay, it's been less than a full week and Nebraska already has their new leader?
Maybe on the surface, yes, but like Chris Kaborik said, and Dennis LeBlanc, the interim AD, had said on the radio earlier this week, was when that job opened up, there had to be so much interest and so many calls from interested people. You would have to think, at least I do, that all of the people that were interested in this spot, there had to be some really, really good candidates and really, really good people that wanted to be at Nebraska and wanted to stay here and wanted to kind of put their stamp on a brand like Nebraska. And I think, again, Nebraska was in kind of like a tough spot with the time frame and just how everything kind of happened all at once here. And so under the circumstances, I just think that, from everything that you could have done, pulling a guy like Troy Gannon was just a really incredible get, in my opinion.
Talking about just contracts here, I mean, what do you make of the $12.2 million buyout in his first year as athletic director? He just, like, it feels like after Nebraska just gets done basically having their athletic director hired away by A&M, and they're going to be paid $4.15, I think it was, that Trev Albert's buyout was from A&M, that now in 2030, if Gannon gets hired away in his last year of his contract, then you're still having to, the buyout is still larger than Trev Albert's, but in this first year specifically, $12.2 million. I mean, it feels like this is truly structured in a way where it's Nebraska saying, we expect you to be here for the long run.
Yeah, they need stability. They absolutely need stability, and they need somebody in there who, like I said, wants to be here and wants to kind of put his stamp on a brand like Nebraska now. And, that's going to be Troy Gannon. So, those numbers, you just rattling them off to me right now, that just speaks of, hey, we need stability. We don't want to be the laughing stock of college athletics anymore. We need you to be here, and we need a commitment from you. And so, that's kind of what that number right there speaks to me.
Yeah, once again, we're joined by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska. Let's talk Husker hoops. Fred Hoiberg with a pretty eventful Monday and Tuesday, or I should say just Tuesday specifically, signs a deal to keep him in Lincoln for sure until 2029. This was something that had to be done, but it feels like, Fred got paid, Steve. Let's just be honest. Like for a one season, not necessarily one season, it's because it's built up to this point. But Nebraska is 23-10 right now, and they're making an NCAA tournament. Yes, it feels like Nebraska basketball is in a sustainable spot, so it feels like the money's also warranted for Fred Hoiberg.
I totally agree. I think it was well-deserved and warranted. And another thing that I think it does, and I think is really, really important, is just, again, we talked about stability with Dannon, and now we're talking about stability with the men's basketball program and Fred, because, now that he has that contract, this is going to pay off big time, I believe, on the recruiting trail, both in high school and in the transfer portal. Nebraska is going to be hitting the transfer portal when their season is over. They're already probably talking to guys right now, engaging interest. But now with Fred having that contract, other programs can't really negatively recruit to Nebraska now. They can't say, hey, Fred might not even be here next year, because he will be here, and he will be here for the coming season. So I think that's it was a really, really good move by Dennis LeBlanc and Chris Kaborik. So I'm really glad that kind of happens, because now, if you're Fred, you can go into these discussions with these quality transfers that they're going to be talking to, and they have a lot of momentum right now with just getting to the NCAA tournament. Who knows if they win their game, everybody's going to hype up the fact that it's the first win in program history. That's going to be more ammunition that you could use in these talks with these high quality transfers that I believe the Huskers are going to go after. So I just think it's been an exciting couple days for Nebraska.
Let's talk about the game on Friday, because at some point we'll all have that conversation, the big picture conversation of what Nebraska needs to attack and where they need to go after into the portal and things like that. Maybe when things become a little more clear on who's not going to be here next year also. So let's talk about Friday here with Texas A&M. We know it's all about the rebounding with A&M. We know they don't shoot the ball all that well, but they get a lot of cracks at shooting it, if that makes sense. They rebound a lot of misses. And so if you're Nebraska, I've been saying it all week, and I want to know where your thoughts are on this. Like, this feels like a Jawan Gary type of game where he could play a really, really big role, not only on the glass, but maybe getting some Texas A&M guys into foul trouble and taking them out of the game.
Jawan Gary, Josiah Alec, they're going to be absolutely crucial here, because they are the muscle at Nebraska. I want to say rink mask as well, but sometimes banging bodies down low isn't what his strong suit is. But with Jawan Gary and Josiah Alec, they're going to need to play some of the best, toughest physical games of their life, because Texas A&M is coming. They're crashing the boards. They lead the nation in offensive rebounding percentage. They're getting about 42% of the offensive rebounds. So, each game, and that's Fred Hoiberg was talking about it and at his press conference at Firethorn Golf Club on Sunday is, that's an absurd amount of your shots that you were getting on the offensive board. So a good thing, I think, that is working in Nebraska's favor is Ernie Ziegler, one of Fred's assistant coaches. He spent a long time at Mississippi State before coming to Nebraska. He actually coached Anderson Garcia, who is Texas A&M's top rebounder. And so but Nebraska's going to go into this game knowing a lot about Anderson Garcia and kind of what makes him tick, and basically the entire Texas A&M team as a whole. So I think that's kind of a good thing to have in Nebraska's back pocket. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Toughness, physicality is going to be key in this game. Nebraska hasn't always matched it with teams. You think back to that ugly Maryland loss earlier in the season, the Rutgers game that they got in overtime in Piscataway. Those are two examples of the Huskers getting punked on the boards and not really matching the opponent's physicality. And so it's just going to be interesting. Yeah, like you said, it's a conflicting styles game here where Texas A&M can't really shoot it. They're shooting 28% as the team from three, and Nebraska can shoot it. So we'll see, if the shots fall during the game. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think it's a really just going to be really, really pivotal that Nebraska brings their muscle, brings their passion for the boards, and just kind of bangs body, and body is with Texas A&M, matches their physicality, and see where the cards lie.
Steve, when we look at the NCAA tournament, and most of the time we look at it with Nebraska not being a part of it, when you look at the NCAA tournament or postseason play in general, a lot of times teams get success when they have really strong guard play. And you look at Nebraska's guards, and Bryce is having a nice season. He's played a decent amount of college basketball in his career. Obviously, you look at like Keisei Tominaga as well, CJ Wilcher. Do you worry at all about nerves being an issue? With Nebraska, they know what's at stake. They've been talking all year about how their goal is to get the first tournament win in program history. Do you worry about nerves at all on Friday night with this roster?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. Only 2 guys on this roster have played an NCAA tournament game, and only one of them are active, because it's Juwan Gary. He was part of that Sweet 16 run that Alabama made in 2021, I want to say. And he was a part of another Alabama team that went dancing as well. And then the other Husker that has NCAA tournament game experience is Aaron Eulis, but obviously he is not going to play. He's not active from his gambling investigation stuff. So, I definitely nerves. I think is going to be a kind of important key. Is Nebraska going to be able to kind of shy away from that and really kind of focus on the game? Because you're right, it's been extremely loud around the program. Loud as in, this is the first time going to the NCAA tournament in 10 years. They're 0-7 in this tournament in history. They could be the first one to win a game in program history. That's all very, very loud right now. And the players obviously hear it. They talk about it. They see it on social media. They're probably talking amongst themselves about all that stuff. It's going to be a really important thing to, do the best you can and not worrying about that and just worrying about the basketball game and hitting the glass and out-rebounding Texas A&M, making your shots, just doing what you do best. So, I definitely think that that's very loud around the program right now, and a lot of it is on the players themselves just to kind of put their head down and go win a basketball game, and the coaches to try to get these young adults to stay off their phones and just think about in this basketball game.
Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska joining us. All right, Steve, last one for you. Does Nebraska get it done on Friday, and then who's your national champion?
I'm thinking Nebraska does get it done. I think the shots fall, and I think they do well enough on the boards. I don't think that they're going to win the rebounding battle, but, it's possible to win a game without winning the rebounding battle. So I think they get out of there. I think the shots fall. I think Bryce Williams has a really good game. For my national championship pick, let's go with the Houston Cougars. I think the Houston Cougars get it done, and obviously they'll be in the same region, so I think that kind of tells you about my second-round pick for Nebraska.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, man, I don't know if there's a bigger Longwood Lancer fan out there this week than me. I have gear en route to my I get it delivered today. Longwood Lancer men's basketball T-shirts delivered today. That if Nebraska gets it done on Friday, you can guarantee that I'll be in the same spot that I'm in, watching the Husker game, cheering on the Longwood Lancers.
Are they? They're like a blue and gray team, right?
They sure are. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Longwood specific. I'm just asking you to wear the colors.
Hey, yeah, that's totally fine by me. That's interesting. I don't know if I'm mistaken, but if my memory serves me right, I think they have a Nebraskan on the roster. I don't know if he's still on the roster at Longwood, but I'll have to check that out to confirm.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's one guy you need to know. They have a guy by the name of Michael Christmas. The dude just chucks up a ton of threes.
His last name is Christmas, like the holiday?
Yes. His last name is Christmas, like the holiday. But here's the thing. Here's what's crazy about it. Okay, so I'm looking at their roster now.
You should have seen Nick just studying Longwood.
I was watching film on Longwood a couple of days ago.
It was ridiculous.
So they don't have anybody from Nebraska. But so Michael Christmas is a guy. He came from James Madison a couple of years ago, transferred into Longwood from James Madison. They also have somebody from Finland. Jesper Granlund is from Finland. And so, I mean, here's the deal. We love international players. They also have somebody from Poland. They have two guys from Finland. I'm telling you, I think Longwood, the Longwood Lancers have a chance to make a 16-1 upset. Now it's not out of the realm of possibility because we've seen it twice.
Hey, if Longwood would happen to pull that off, I mean, that's good news for Nebraska.
Great news.
And maybe Rick Mask can go up to that European native, and maybe they can do their European handshake or something like that and say hi to each other.
Is that a thing? Do they have that?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Well, here's the thing. I think it would be okay. I mean, that'd be good for Nebraska as long as Nebraska takes care of business first, right? Because, man, what a letdown it would be internally for all of us if Nebraska doesn't get the job done, but then Longwood performs a miracle.
Nobody wants to see Texas A&M versus Longwood.
Nobody does. Last thing. Does Troy Dannon meet Trev Alberts on Friday?
Oh, man, you're pulling out all the questions here. You know what? I do. I think they go up and they shake hands and they share a laugh, and that'll be that.
They enjoy my old job. Enjoy the job I just had.
Do you think they share a private jet to go from the men's game to the women's game up in Corvallis?
Okay, no, I do not think that they would do that.
Trev could give pointers. Yeah, hey, so this is what you want to do at Nebraska.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot that Trev needs to divulge and download into Troy Dannon's mind here.
Yeah.
It's got to be a interesting trip regardless for all parties involved.
All right, well, Steve, we'll go ahead and let you go, man. Have a safe drive down to Memphis. Well, first to Springfield here. Enjoy whatever hotel you're staying at. Hopefully it's a Drury Inn and Suites if they have them in Springfield, Missouri. If not, enjoy whatever hotel you're staying in, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys, for having me. We'll see you.
There he is, Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska, joining us on the Allo VIP line. VIP line brought to you, as always, by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Good stuff there from Steve. Let's go ahead and get to break. When we come back, we bring in Strick and Austin and get you ready for On the Block on a Wednesday after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win two, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It will be breezy and a little cooler. We'll see an afternoon high around 49. Tonight, probably cloudy, a low around 29. And tomorrow, we'll see probably sunny skies, a little breezy, but a little warmer, a high around 58. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator, buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the chocolate season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
This is a house of learned doctors.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
As soon as your eyes shut, I'm going to punch you square in the face.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support, as always. Before we start with the crossover,
what are you doing?
want to let you guys know that this Friday and Saturday on March 22nd and 23rd, TCA Outdoor Power is having their open house celebration and customer appreciation days out there at there it is, TCA Outdoor Power, 6210 South 57th Street in Lincoln. TCA is Lincoln's only elite steel dealership and has been in business for over 20 years. This Friday and Saturday only, you can enjoy 10% off select steel products and up to $350 off on select battery tools. But now, on Friday and Saturday only, if you buy 2 steel batteries, you can double your limited warranty. But it has to be purchased either this Friday or Saturday. That's March 22nd or 23rd at TCA Outdoor Power, located at 6210 South 57th Street in Lincoln. Once again, just south of 56th and Old Cheney. Customer appreciation open house celebration at TCA Outdoor Power, as the guys here doing the TCA Outdoor Power. Okay, there you go.
They should do that. That should be their jingle.
That should be the slogan. TCA. Just like that. Okay, perfect. So once again, that's this Friday and Saturday. 10% off select steel products and up to $350 off select battery tools. TCA Outdoor Power, Lincoln's only elite steel dealership. And for over 20 years, they've held that title. Locally owned business, so make sure you stop on by Friday and or Saturday. All right, gentlemen, we bring in Strick and Austin. What's up, folks?
TCA is an elite steel dealer. Is Troy Dannon elite? To get that Matt Rule word thrown around, elite is Troy Dannon elite, like TCA.
Was Troy Dannon an elite steel?
Ooh, see all these questions.
Wow.
Is he elite? Is he an elite steel?
I don't know.
Man,
I don't know, guys.
that's a good question, Rico.
Speaking of steel, speaking of steel,
Is he a deep 3? Pause.
That's not even a pause.
That's not even a pause.
Deep 3?
Yeah, but why'd you? Whatever. Go ahead.
Nonetheless, speaking of steel, can we talk about Caden Proctor stealing from Iowa?
I'm not
incredible.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I love it.
Here, so if you did not hear, Caden Proctor has been
That's a movie.
toying with Iowa folks' hearts for 3 years now. Where back to his recruiting cycle, he was projected to go to Iowa.
He flips on signing day.
He was committed to Iowa.
Yes, flips on signing day.
Flips on signing day to Alabama. Plays a decent amount at Alabama. First
started
year.
all 13 all games.
Freshman All-American.
Yeah.
Transfers back to Iowa at the end of last season.
Gets $100,000.
Yes,
Cash.
from the Swarm Bank.
Which is funny because their collective CEO had to come out and say, "Don't worry, fans, this isn't your money. It's from the big donors. It's not every fan's money."
Well, so nonetheless, so Caden Proctor gets $100K, and now yesterday or a couple days ago there's an announcement
Just yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, that he is returning to Alabama. He's going to re-enroll in Alabama. However, that money is just gonzo and is his because since NIL, there's no collective bargaining agreement.
And now there's no two-time transfer sit out.
He doesn't have to either sit out and he doesn't have to return the money.
There
you go, Caden Proctor. Merry Christmas. Here's your relocation bonus for moving, $100,000.
Was it confirmed he's going back to Alabama?
Yes.
Okay. That's
because he also
hilarious.
posted the Michael Jordan on Instagram. I'm back.
Yeah,
And got another.
And probably got another bag.
He deleted everything Iowa related off his Instagram.
Hey.
My man, you know what somebody said that I thought was hilarious? They said he just came back to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball and then he left.
Probably cheaper to get tuition paid for or get a scholarship than actually buy Iowa women's basketball tickets.
Exactly.
So don't fault him for that.
Exactly. That man went to all the Iowa women's basketball games, watched Caitlin Clark ball out, and then she was like, "I'm going to the WNBA," and he's like, "All right, I'm going back to Bama."
Stricky, you asked if Kirk Cousins was stealing. Caden Proctor actually is.
Yeah, he's
all finesse team.
He's the all finesse team.
Ooh.
Who's part of the all finesse team?
Albert Hainsworth.
Albert Hainsworth was not finesse. Come on now.
That was finesse.
He was not a finesse player.
Finesse.
Come on. Who's
I'm trying to
Chandler
Austin Crozier.
Austin Crow. They're one A and B. They're together.
Luol Deng.
Oh, come on, man.
No.
Come on. I like Luol.
And the Lakers are still paying
his fault.
Yeah.
The Lakers are still paying him.
Bobby Bonilla? Is he in the finesse team?
Keith Van Horn. Let me tell you,
Tell
this
us
is
about
an inside secret joke, and I was so mad at Mark Cuban, and I hope you hear this.
We can clip it and send it to him.
Yeah, we'll send it to him. We'll tag him.
This is crazy, right? So
make sure you look at that camera when you tell him.
I had just retired. I'm working with the Dallas Mavericks at the time. Keith Van Horn is sitting at his house, and Mark needs a position, a salary guy, just to come in, run on the bike so that he can complete a trade, and then they can send him in the great good night. Paid him $5 million.
I'm sorry, what?
Instead of you? He called Keith Van Horn?
Called
to
Keith
sit
Van
on a
Horn
bike and just pedal.
to ride on a bike and just stay in like shape. Wasn't going to play, but to make the deal go, paid him $5 million.
Wow.
That's all finesse. That's super finesse.
How about this finesse? What about Anthony Bennett?
Did he really finesse? That's
Was
like
that Anthony
all
Bennett's fault?
Dumbo. That's all the Dumbo.
No, that's Cleveland's fault.
That's
for drafting him
Cleveland
number
like
one overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Cleveland like the
Okay.
dumbest city on earth right now with Deshaun
Sam Bradford,
Watson, and Anthony Bennett?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford being the last
They
rookie
brought in
quarterback
Shaq.
to get all the money
They
before they
brought
brought
in
in the
Shaq.
rookie scale.
They brought in Kemp. They brought in all the people on the way out. They
Dwayne
got
Wade.
finessed. Got finessed.
And there's a lot of NBA
Everybody.
contracts that are finessed. Like
Keith Van Horn.
Yeah.
That was a super
But like I'm trying to think of like NFL or like coaches also. Coaches, administrators.
Gruden.
Gruden, I suppose.
I was gonna say
Is
Dan.
Josh McDaniels finessing the Patriots to be OC again?
No, he's not the OC. They already have.
Well,
the
I'm
rest.
saying
Peterman
he's done time
finesses,
back-
but he doesn't get
Nathan,
paid a lot.
no, Nathan Peterman.
He doesn't get paid a lot, but he somehow just keeps getting
But he's getting
contracts.
he's getting
Sutter
millions
Heyman.
of dollars to do nothing.
Sutter
Or to
Heyman
throw
text
picks.
line. Get on it. I
So,
want to
okay,
know.
so somebody says Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's on the finesse team.
He played his hand really well.
He's a third teamer.
He did a great job.
He's a third teamer.
Third teamer.
No. He's the starting quarterback on the all finesse team. What are you talking about?
He's a third teamer.
That man got a
That's not his
guaranteed.
fault. That's their fault.
That man got a guarantee. All his money guaranteed when he went to Minnesota. Tears his Achilles and still makes $180 million in Atlanta with what is 100 and some guaranteed. Like that's finesse.
It's Tom
Is
Brady on
Russell
the
Wilson finessing?
Ooh.
Who?
Russ?
Ooh, no, but
Nah.
it's
He's
not-
getting all
only
that
getting
money
he's
from
getting a better
Denver.
He
rental.
finessed Denver.
Yeah, he finessed Denver.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He still gets all that money.
You're right. Tom Brady didn't finesse because he took less
Deshaun?
money because his wife was getting paid more.
Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson's on the finesse team.
Yeah.
For sure.
Multiple
For
ways.
sure.
Pause.
And LeBron James.
Deshaun's getting
LeBron
kicked off
James
the
is on the
finesse team.
finesse team.
How is he on the finesse team?
Because he goes places, finesses them out of all of their resources, and then leaves them.
You're just
That's the finesse team.
Jay Foreman, call now 402-464-5685. We'll lead up on the block.
But he's brought a title to every place he's been.
Boo. That we do not consider the bubble a title. Stop.
Why?
Cap.
Why?
Cap.
Why?
The
Why?
bubble
I'm
is
Team
an
Tricky on
asterisk.
this one.
Why?
I was
The
Tricky on this
bubble
one.
is
I'm
an
neutral.
asterisk.
Why?
I'm neutral.
Why?
Cap.
Why? But no. But why? Why?
Because
is it,
it's Cap.
Why
They
is it an
didn't
asterisk?
invite
It defines
everybody.
itself.
Didn't get invited. You didn't have to do anything. You sit at the freaking resort and just walk to a gym.
Okay.
And
Just hoop.
So
No.
if
Not even the best teams chose to go into the bubble. No.
it was the
Stop
teams that, when the season was canceled, would have been in playoff
No.
position. That's
Boo.
who they invited, plus
Boo.
the Pelicans because they needed Zion.
Rico, why are you arguing this? You're just mad it wasn't the Knicks.
No, I don't care. They weren't going to win
Boo.
anyways. But my thing is,
Loser
that
attitude.
Everybody,
Career Knicks loser.
they weren't going to win. They weren't
Clearly a
invited. They
Knicks
weren't
fan.
going to win. They didn't have a good run.
I
enough record.
give
They were
that
bad. But
championship 2 thumbs down.
so if somebody else would have won, would you have said the same thing, or is it just because it's Brown?
No, same thing. Same thing.
You sure about that?
Boo.
If the Nuggets win, if the Clippers win it,
I
shambolic.
Still
even
still
don't
an
like
asterisk?
lockout. I even don't like lockout championships. Even the one the Spurs won. I still say boo.
I mean, you played.
And they beat LeBron though.
You played who you had to play. You beat who you had to beat.
Boo.
Took care of business.
Hey, boo.
Hey, everybody had the same advantages.
A little bit of breaking news here. Rutgers center Clifford
Amore?
Amore has entered the transfer portal.
Nebraska's on the way.
Entering the draft and the portal,
Here he
or
comes.
just the portal?
Plans to enter the transfer portal.
He's on his way.
Portal.
Yeah, he likes the red. He's Scarlet.
The
Scarlet
6'11
nice.
senior averaged 10.5, 8.5 rebounds,
And a lot of blocks.
2.9 blocks per game.
Small defense guy.
I mean,
why not?
Hey,
Come and
Hey.
just help Joe.
Here's
Clifford.
the.
I want somebody
Okay,
on Nebraska.
okay,
Clifford,
so-
the big red.
Clifford the big red.
I can hear the NIL
Dog.
deals going down.
Dog.
Clifford the big red dog.
DAWG.
Check out the Big Red Dog this Saturday at Pinnacle Bakery.
Oh, there it is. Can I pour a little rain on this parade, though? Because it would be fun, but also you're not playing Rink at the 4.
Why?
He's not best at the 4. He's best at the 5, where he's a bigger mismatch. So I don't think you put Rink and Amori on the floor at the same time.
Well, that's fine, but
Thanks,
I still want Cliff. Yeah.
He's not coming off the bench. He's good enough to start.
We got to replace Josiah Allen, don't you? Yeah.
Achy breaky our heart. You know what? You done.
Yeah.
You done, Austin. Ridiculous.
I'll put myself in the corner and time out.
This is the same thing. I
haven't had to do this to Beckett yet. I'll put myself in the corner.
Do you not take him, though, if he decides he wants to?
If he wants to, yeah.
I just want a dude named Cliff.
I think it just fits.
Yeah.
How has he not gotten a Cliff Bar NIL deal?
Nebraska football had a guy, Justin Cliff McGriff, on their team a couple of years ago before he entered the transfer portal.
Was that his actual middle name?
I think it was like part of his name.
I don't think it was.
Was it, though?
That's at least
I think
his
it was
Twitter.
I think he just put Cliff. I called him McGriff the crime dog.
Fred McGriff.
Fred Hoiberg got a raise.
He did.
Cash.
I need to go down there and spend
Hey, gentlemen.
more time.
What's coming up on the show?
It was funny. Did you guys hear Matt Rule today? Hold on. Sorry, Rico. Did you
No,
hear
his
Matt Rule
music.
today? He said something along the lines, after Fred, he's like, congratulating Fred Hoiberg's contract. And he's like, I'm going to make Fred buy me a very nice bottle of wine. And I'm sitting here like, dude, you get paid almost double.
Yeah.
You should be buying him two bottles of wine.
Yeah.
But nonetheless. All right, what's coming up on the show today, gents?
We'll talk about the new AD, new president situation a little bit. Couple good guests. Evan Bland to break it all down. Also Husker baseball, fresh off the weekend sweep of Nichols, and they beat Omaha yesterday. The Bison in town tonight. We'll talk about that. Big guest at 3. Crutch!
Whoa!
Chris Crutchfield.
Frankie Fiddler entering the NBA draft.
We're going to talk about it.
All right, there you go. How about that? All that and more coming up on the block with Strick and Austin. Thanks to Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska for joining us at 1:30 there. If you missed any of the show, check it out on the pod. As always, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow from Buffalo Wings and Rings, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be there watching hoops. Come on out. Plenty of prizes to give away. Join our bracket challenge, all that and more. See you guys tomorrow.
Come get y'all some wangs.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Pre-order your Hog Wild slow smoked Easter ham today. Hog Wild selects the highest quality whole ham and slow smokes them until they're tender and delicious. Our 100% boneless ham is approximately 4 pounds and $50. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com. Quantities are limited. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the enrollment fee. The next challenge begins on March 23rd. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view